What is going on, everybody? What is going on? What is going on? Happy Thursday to everyone out there, man. Happy Thursday to everyone out there. Hope you all are having a fine Thursday. Everyone except for obviously the Aints fans, because what is it? It's fucking hate week, man. It is fucking hate week. It is Falcons, Saints, hate week. And we already got them coming in here. Jerry, I see you, man. Goose Sports, I see you, man. We already got the Aints fans coming in here. And we're gonna have some good old, we're gonna chop it up good old fashioned. We're gonna chop it up Southern style. Talking about this game, man. Because there's a lot to talk about, and I'm actually going to do something I really haven't done in a little bit. I'm going to do it tonight. I'm opening that panel up. StreamYard link is in the chat. All Falcons fans, all Aints fans who want to join, come on in. Get your thought. Let us know what you think is going to happen, because, man, Sunday is a big one. Sunday is certainly a big game. There's no denying that. There's no arguing that. Sunday is a very big game for both teams. Both teams still have a chance to make the playoffs. Both teams still have a chance to win the NFC South. So anything can happen. And it's week 18. And more importantly, man, it's the Falcons and Saints. And we know what happens when these two teams get together. We know it is going to be a classic. So with that being said, man, there's a lot we can talk about. Both teams are in really conflicting positions, I guess you can say. Hold on just a second, guys. There might be a little echo or delay here coming up in just a second, but go ahead and all right, man. That should be better now. See, I don't see the Bucs losing, but anything can happen. Yeah, man. Anything can happen. That is certainly the case here. It's week 18, final week of the season. And I said it earlier this week. It always feels like if some crazy shit happens, it's going to happen the final week. And it's the final week of the year. This division has been practically terrible for most of the season. Tampa Bay finally caught fire. It looked like they had the division on lock, but they blew a big opportunity last week versus the Aints. And now that leads us to this spot where here they are, and they're having to obviously they're in the driver's seat. They went in their division champions, but regardless, man, they've opened the door for both these teams. But it is the Falcons, it is the Saints, and obviously the division talk is gonna come up. But regardless, man, bottom line is this: the only two thing that the Falcons and the Saints, for that matter, can control is what goes on in that Superdome on Sunday at 1 p.m., 12 p.m. Central. And that is the product that is on that field for those respective teams. So, with that being said, man, I guess kind of just, previewing and setting the stage here. Let's see. Goosebumps says, I just want Allen Goose Sports. My bad. Goose Sports says, I just want Allen fired, but he's probably staying. Yeah, there's a very similar feeling here with our coach, but with that, and I don't know if Arthur's going to stay. I really don't. Now, I'll go ahead and say, I've said this on Twitter, and I think I've even said it on YouTube. I've said, listen, if he wins Sunday, I think his job is safe. That job is in jeopardy. So, and there's a lot of factors that have built up to this point, a lot of factors that have really brought us to this point. But ultimately, if Arthur Smith leads that team out there Sunday and they just lay an absolute egg, that's the ceiling on the cake. Now, if Arthur Smith manages to pull out a win somehow, and well, I'm not going to say somehow. I think we can. It's the Falcons, it's the Saints, and it's a 50-50 chance that anything can happen when it's the Falcons and the Saints. But let's just say Tampa loses and we win. Then we mustered ourselves into the NFC South division title. And listen, you can say all you want about it. You can say, oh, it's what's the term, Mickey Mouse? But at the end of the day, man, we haven't won a division in 7 years. We haven't won the NFC South in 7 years when we went to the Super Bowl. We ain't made the playoffs in 6 years. So the way I have to look at it is, man, listen, we've waited too long. And do I think Arthur Smith is the right coach for this team moving forward? At this rate and what he's shown us this year, I don't. There's some people that think give him another year. There's some people who has been wanting the dude gone. I wanted to believe in the dude. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I did the first 2 years. But there's been a breaking point this season, and especially the Tampa game, the Carolina game in Charlotte, the game last Sunday in Chicago. Those are really games that you look at. Those are big opportunity games, big field games, especially the 2 division games. And we still somehow find ourselves in a position where we could possibly mustered out this division. So, who knows? Maybe Arthur Smith maybe the football gods have blessed Arthur Smith. Because if this was probably any other situation, he probably would have been gone. But we're in the NFC South, man. We got to take advantage of our situation. That's what we've been saying all season. But finally getting into this game, man. Last time these two teams met was in Week 12. And the Falcons held the Saints to no touchdowns in that game. We won 24-15. We pretty much dominated them most of the game. Jesse Bates out there making plays left and right, causing turnovers. Derek Carr and his wacky-looking ass, emo-looking ass, fucking sucks. Middle of the pack, average-ass quarterback. See, I will say this, and I will say this. I feel like if there's any spot for the Falcons defense, this is the Falcons defense type of game. A pocket quarterback who has no mobile ability. The one thing with the Falcons, I think everyone's figured it out. We cannot stop a mobile quarterback to save our life. But you get us in there, and you're putting Derek Carr up versus us, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You're going to have to hope to beat us with Alvin Kamara and the little dink and dunk that our secondary just sells. And at times it did sell in Week 12. Listen, this Falcons secondary, A.J. Terrell, has had problems versus the Saints. They have. Well, he has. Now, granted, I will go ahead and say this. I feel like in Week 12, Chris Olave absolutely shredded us before he went out with injury. And for a lot of that, you had a Jeff Okudah covering him, which I really didn't get. So, to me, it really honestly feels like if you want to win this game, if you're the Falcons and you want to win this game, then you're going to have to match up. You're going to have to match up your best man with their best man. That's what it's going to have to be. And that's how it's always going to have to be in this game. That's how it's always got to be. Alvin Kamara is still obviously a threat. He can do damage. Olave can do damage. Jawan Johnson, man. Listen, you can say all you want, but Jawan Johnson, he still might be that most concerning. And we held Jawan Johnson in check week 12. We really did. But you can't let that dude go off. You can't let him catch fire because he is like a flame, man. He can just go off. And it is very hard to stop him when he gets in that rhythm. With that being said, though, I really feel like this is a game that the Falcons defense, I would anticipate the Falcons defense to come out and at times perhaps maybe be able to have their way. Right? See Ryan Nielsen, Ellis, Onyemata, they returned to that Superdome. Granted, they faced the Saints back in week 12, but that was in the Benz. All those guys are returning to the Superdome, place where they dominated for half a decade. So they're looking to go back there, and I think they're looking to prove a point. They're looking to fight with a purpose. But what this game is going to come down to, I feel like yet again, is how efficient can the Falcons offense be? And another big question, who's even starting at quarterback? Is it going to be Heineke or is it going to be Ritter? Now, I would honestly probably anticipate that Heineke will be healthy enough. I mean, for Jesus Christ, you still have a chance to win the division. I would anticipate you're putting Heineke out there in that situation. Another thing I feel like you're really going to put in, and this is going to have to be that game, you're going to have to, and I don't know how many Saints fans are going to be there Sunday. You know, I listen. I heard the reports there's going to be a good bit of Falcons fans going down to New Orleans to take over the Superdome. And I would not deny that. I think that could definitely be the case. But regardless, the Falcons have to go into this game. And this is a playoff game for both teams because you're not going to know what's exactly going on in Charlotte. So both these teams are going to come out wanting to prove a point, wanting to give it their best shot regardless. Because this is Saints and Falcons, it doesn't matter what's on the line. But this is going to be a type of game. You're going to have to go into the Superdome. You're going to have to get Bijan Robinson going. This is a big spot for Bijan. This is a big spot for a Tyler Algier. Can be a spot for CP to get those touches. You do not put pressure. You don't make Taylor Heineke go and win this game. Now, granted, in these types of games, Taylor Heineke has proven, at least in Washington, that he can be a hero. But you don't need to have to ask him to be a hero. Your running game should control this game. And that's the honest way that I view this thing. I think the Falcons' running game has to get to a point in this game where they have this game in control if the Falcons are going to want to have a good chance of winning this thing. I feel like if you come out and you try to air the thing out and Arthur Smith does his typical bullshit, then we honestly, I hate saying it, man, we probably don't stand a good chance. If he comes out, he tries to overthink it, and listen, Arthur Smith is, I am under the impression fighting for his job. That is the impression I am under with this guy. And I think he knows deep down. I think he understands that Sunday could be make or break for him. That regardless, he is fighting for his job next year as head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. You know, you can, and obviously with a lot of these guys that are going to be fighting for roster spots and all that, but this is a very important game. This is going to have to be a game that Arthur Smith is going to have to come out, and he's going to have to call to a T. And I could see him doing that. I could see Arthur Smith calling this a lot like that Indianapolis game, a lot like the first Saints game, a lot like how we expect Arthur Smith's offense to be called, which is the running game sets up everything. But I said this before, and I'm not going to shy away from it. I feel like this game is also going to give a big jury on the standing of this locker room at the end of the season, which is going to be one of the key factors in, do you keep Arthur Smith for 2024 or do you give him his walking papers? And I feel like you're going to see, if we go down there and we get absolutely embarrassed and we get beaten by 20 like we did in Chicago or worse, you forget about it. Arthur Smith is gone. We're gone. It's gone. That entire offensive staff is gone. They're just going to be done. But if you go down to New Orleans and the offense overall, they look efficient, they look good, they're executing well, they don't turn the ball over, and I think that shows that they're going to go out and they're giving it their best fight. Now, even I think the question needs to be asked, even if we do win this game, should it just be a surefire lock that we're keeping Arthur Smith? Well, I'll go ahead and say this. We win this game, we finish 8-0, and that's one game better than where we've been these past 2 years. Now, we don't know what Arthur Blank is thinking. We, at this point, can only go off of two things. Arthur Blank's past history with how he's dealt with head coaches in these situations, and the reports you're hearing about or how Arthur Blank is feeling right now about this situation. Now, typically, Arthur Blank in the past, i.e., look at how he handled Dan Quinn, he likes to give coaches the benefit of the doubt. He looks for a reason to hold on to a head coach longer than you probably should. And I think that's Blank's big issue. Hold on a second. All right, it should be good now. But with that being said, that is a big issue of Arthur Blank's. That can really be an issue, holding on to head coaches longer than you should. But I really feel like at this point in time, he is looking for almost any reason to keep Arthur Smith. He's looking for almost any reason to do it. I don't think he wants to fire Arthur Smith, but I also think that the point we've reached with Arthur Blank is he is very furious. He's disappointed and he's angry. And you haven't seen that from Arthur Blank often. So best believe he wants to go down there and get a win. If Arthur Smith, I think, has to get a win to be, I'm not even going to say in a totally safe position, to be in a, okay, let's talk about the plan for 2024 if I were to keep you. And who knows, that could still happen if we lose. But regardless, man, we got a game to win Sunday. And we got to go beat these Aints. We do. It's been 7 years since we swept them. And not only that, we have an opportunity to knock them out of the playoffs. We have an opportunity to go down there and end all of their playoff hopes. So, with that being said, man, this is a big game Sunday. It is. You still have an opportunity to win the NFC South and get the home playoff game. You have an opportunity to knock the Saints out of the playoffs. Now, you're going to have to root for the Panthers. You know, so some that might be a little harder than for most. Me personally, you know, Carolina is a shit show. They're going to be for years. So, it's, God damn it, they got to win. They got to get one here and there versus anyone but the Falcons. So, it better be this Sunday is all I'm going to say. So, yeah, I still want to win this division. Still want to beat the Aints. This was supposed to be the year anyway. We were supposed to break through, get to the playoffs, and we got to get that experience, man. We do. But I really honestly don't feel like, has Arthur Smith had that signature win as head coach? To me, that signature win, I would still probably have to say, is that 49ers win last year. I feel like that is his signature win. But this Sunday, if you go down to New Orleans, you beat the Saints, you sweep them for the first time in 7 years, and Carolina helps you out, Tampa shits the bed, and you win the NFC South, then hey man, listen, that I think you definitely would have to argue is a signature win. As I said, man, the StreamYard link is there. Anyone wants to come in, any Falcons fans want to come in, any Saints fans want to come in, we can talk about it, man. We can talk about how we think this game is going to go, what we think could be a deciding factor in it. Man, listen, it's an important game Sunday for both sides of the equation. It is. With that being said, man, we got a big one coming up. We really do. You know, it's been a very up and down season. It's been a disappointing season at times. It started off really good. But regardless, man, we still have an opportunity to muster out this NFC South. We do. So with that being said, man, you know, whoever wants to come on can come on. But regardless, man, it's always gonna be fuck the Aints around here. It's always gonna be fuck the Aints around here. Let's see, did I miss any chat? Let's see. I guess because Goose Sports kind of alluded to it earlier, the Saints are also in a tough position with their coach. Now, if I was a betting man, I would probably have to say they probably would keep Dennis Allen. But I don't know, man. They're kind of in a position. A lot of their fan base wants that coach gone as well. So it's an interesting spot for both teams to be in. It's very conflicting spots to where both the coaches, I would definitely say Arthur Smith's seat is probably a whole lot hotter than Dennis Allen's is right now, because this was supposed to be the year that Arthur Smith, and we heard all the stuff about him being this offensive guru, play caller, and this and that. So with that being said, man, if he doesn't, go out there and win Sunday, I'm going to continue to say it. I don't like his. I don't think he's going to be here, and I really honestly don't think he should be, because, and especially depending on how we lose, that's going to tell a lot about where this locker room stands with an Arthur Smith. So with that being said, man, this is a game that has a lot riding on it. You can very well determine who wins the end. It's going to determine who wins the NFC South. If Tampa can't take care of business, 2 games will be going on at the same time. So obviously, on one hand, this is legitimately how I plan on doing this. I plan on big TV, Falcons Saints being on, and I'll probably have the Bucks and Panthers on my fucking computer or something. That's probably how I'm gonna fucking do this thing Sunday, man. And that's probably how a lot of Falcons and Saints fans are gonna do this thing. So with that being said, man, I really don't know if there's any much else for me to talk about on my side. But link is open, man. Anyone wants to come in, chop it up, maybe give their 2 cents about this game. Aints fan wants to come on and say, hey, fuck you too. Or even say fuck you to me. You can come on and do it, man, because listen, this is big opportunity. It's the final week of the regular season, and if this is it for the Falcons, this will be it until next September. Well, not next September. Well, this upcoming September. And we don't know what's going to go on in between then, man. So, hey. There is so much writing on what happened Sunday for where we go beyond here. I think that's the big thing for the Falcons is obviously you have an opportunity to maybe win your first division title in 7 years, or you'll be waking up Monday morning, get the alert that Arthur Smith has been let go, has been given that walking paper, and is no longer the head coach of the Falcons. So yeah, man, if no one really wants to come on, I guess that's it, man. I guess everyone's got their other stuff to do here on Thursday night, which, hey, I can't complain. I wasn't planning on staying on here too long, maybe an hour, a little over at tops. With that being said, man, yeah, that's, I guess, going to be it. Unless anyone literally wants to jump up right now, I'll stay on a little bit longer. But hey, this season, it's been, real. It's been, there's been a lot of highs. The first few weeks, I think we definitely have to say, weeks 1, week 2, we started 2-0, man. There was definitely a lot of excitement. There was, but as the season went on, we found out a harsher reality. But overall, man, listen, it's always going to be about the Falcons over here. As I said, this all season, I'm going to dip into some more Braves content. I plan on talking about the Braves more. It's going to be active over here, man. I know typically past off seasons, this channel would just kind of, go out and, die for a couple months, before football season came back. I don't plan on that happening because there could be a lot of stuff we have to listen. We could very well be back here next Thursday talking about a wild card matchup against the Eagles. This might not be it. There could be one more, at least one more, probably just one more, but there could be one more. We could be back here talking about Arthur Smith has been fired and looking at head coaching candidates. Well, which Grant, if Arthur Smith gets fired on Black Monday, then we're talking about it right then and there. There's gonna be no waiting. I'm talking about it as soon as I can. So with that being said, and we also have to talk about then, who would be the next head coach. Then we obviously got to talk about who's the quarterback. There's going to be a lot of mock drafts we're going to do, a lot of free agency discussions. Who are some guys we need to bring back? Who are some guys we should just cut loose? Who perhaps can we consider signing in free agency? How much money will we have? How much money will Terry be able to play with? I think it should be a good bit, if I'm not mistaken. I think he could have a good bit of money to play with again in free agency. So you're talking about all that, man. Going to be talking about the draft, and then I'll talk more. I'll probably start up the Braves content here around March or so as we inch closer to opening day here. Braves actually open up in Philadelphia, so yeah, fuck the Philly. And hey, we could be facing the Eagles next weekend. So it's really, man, it's fuck the Aints, but it's also fuck Philadelphia over here. It's fuck Dallas. It's fuck all y'all's teams, man. That's what it is. Fuck all y'all's teams. Because you know how we're rolling over here, man. You really know how we're rolling over here. It's all about the Falcons, all about Atlanta at the end of the day, man. So with that being said, no one's going to come on. I don't plan on streaming the game Sunday because there's just It would be fun to stream all that commotion, but I don't know, man. It might be a little too much commotion for me to stream, because I gotta be locked into not just one but 2 games on Sunday simultaneously. I'm gonna have to multitask on Sunday at 1 o'clock. So man, listen, for 3 hours. So listen, man, it's been real this season. Free our link is still open. Anyone who wants to come in, more than welcome to. With that being said, man, Sunday, it's going to be a big game, man. It's going to be a huge game on Sunday. And I don't think there's any Falcons fan that would deny that, any Saints fan that would deny that. Tampa obviously has a huge game themselves, so I don't think they deny it either. So with that being said, man, that's pretty much it. Fuck the Aints. Let's go. Let's sweep the black and gold. That's what it is. We're sweeping the black and gold, sweeping whatever you want to call them. The Aints, the Swampers. You know, we got to go down to the swamp, man. We gotta get a job done. That's what it is. So with that being said, man, I'll see you guys in the next one, probably. I don't plan on going live again before the game, so probably right after the game and Sunday, I'll be going live, and we might be talking about we're NFC South champions, and we could be having a celebration Sunday, or we could be absolutely ready to go off on Arthur Smith, and we're just waiting for the notification or anything in between. So, man, listen, appreciate you all for coming in, stopping by, supporting. You're going to watch on replay. Appreciate you for watching. So, with that being said, man, see you guys in the next one.